All right, everybody, welcome to the Grand River Woodturners Guild September meeting. It's already September, and towards the end of September at that. My name's Doug Brinks. I'm the current president for at least 3 more months, and then we'll see what happens in January if somebody else wants to be president. So, do we have any new members here today? Yeah, welcome everybody. If we got a new member, yeah, John, right? Tell us about yourself, John. Okay. Yeah, it's addicting. All right, anybody else?
Doug, we got at least one new guy online. Lance,
We got a
if
new
you
have a
guy
guess.
online. Go ahead and spotlight him, Dave. Put him on.
All right.
Good morning.
Hey.
Lance Mirror, come from Florida, and a wood turner. I saw your information on Facebook. Was interested in joining the group, or at least getting to watch.
Okay. Well,
right.
cool. Glad to have you
Thank
with
you
us
for the
again.
invite.
And what was your name, Lance?
Yes,
All right. Is that his shop? Yeah, is that your shop?
I wish. Just a beautiful wintry background.
Okay. All right. Well, good to have you with us. Anybody else? Okay. Well, we're going to move on down right now. Dues for just this meeting the last month are $25, which is for you'd be paying for prorated for this year. As of next month, new members is full price, and that includes all of next year. So you'd be paying for the rest of this year and all of 2025. So that starts next month. And then, so that'll be for the end of the year. For members, if you are a member, we have a library over here. We have a sharpening station set up here with Wolverine sharpening stuff. So if you don't have a sharpening station, you're welcome to bring down your tools and sharpen here. If you don't know how the sharpening system works, we can easily find somebody here who can run that through with you and how that all works. We have the raffle table, which I think Tom is selling tickets. Tom is right there. He's selling tickets and coffee and donuts, of course, all that. So, and we have mentors. So if you're a member of our group and you're like, hey, I want to meet with somebody about something or another, you have a question about something, or you just want to check out one of our mentors' shops, you're fine with doing that. We're scattered around the city. If you look in our newsletter, which we did not send out this month because of a computer problem, but next month you'll get that. There's a list of all the mentors in there. And we're always happy to have somebody at our shop, if we have the time to do it. So those are some of the things that are included with a membership. Let's see, demonstrations this month. We have Christmas gift ideas. I think we have 4 people lined up to do 5 different gift ideas for Christmas. So that is today's demonstration. Next month we have Sally Alt. And Sally is a professional wood turner. She has done a lot of work up at Ron's retreat, which Ron didn't do it this year, but for years Ron had his retreat, and she was there, I think, every year. She is going to do our demonstration on Saturday next month, and then in the afternoon we're going to have some workshops on making a sea urchin box, I believe. Dave's got the sign-up sheet if you're interested in taking that, because I believe it's $50, and that includes the cost of materials. It probably takes 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon. It'd be after our meeting. So see Dave if you want to get signed up for that. Let's see. I'm going through the stuff that we talked about at our last meeting, and we have 2 Delta lathes in there that one of them the bearings are pretty bad on. It's pretty loud. Another one the bearings are starting to go bad, so we think we're going to just off those, let them go for a couple $100 or something to a member, and then we'll replace them with Rikon. So I'm thinking if you're interested in one of those, let us know, and we can maybe work out something. Maybe that encourage us to get moving on replacing them. So, but we will need those next month. So, yeah, the one that's really bad, we might have to break down and fix the one that's really bad. So, anyways, let's see. We also have election of officers. This is coming up. Normally we would do that next month, but I'm gone next month. Dave's gone next month. We have a few people missing next month, so we'll end up doing that in November. And there's going to be a vacancy, I know for sure, of the board. So we're going to need at least one person to step up and say, hey, I want to be on the board. Being on the board, we meet once a month. It's a Zoom meeting, doesn't take but an hour. And, to be on the board, we're not looking for the best turners in the world. We're looking for people who have input on what it takes to make this meeting a good meeting for everybody. So we're looking for people with input. We're looking for people who can, just give us an opinion and help us to plan a meeting that is enjoyable for everyone. So don't feel like you've got to be the best wood turner in the world to be on our board. We have people on our board who started out at pretty entry level, but they're fine. I mean, that's what we want on the board because a lot of those people are in the room too, and we're trying to cater to everybody. So we don't want a board that's full of the best turners in the world because they have no mental grasp on what it takes to entertain a beginner. So we like to have a wide variety of people on the board. So if you're interested in being on the board, let me know or somebody else on the board know, and we can move on from there. Let's see, we got show and tell today, and I don't know, do we have anything else that I'm missing? If that's the case, then I think we're going to move on with show and tell. And what we'll do is bring your stuff up here, put it on the table, talk into the mic, introduce yourself, and then tell us about your piece. You can set your piece down here so we can get a camera on it. That would be great. And I'll try to get this light on it. Go ahead, Mike. You can go first.
All right.
How do you like them apples?
That's because I don't like following you. Okay, I'm Mike Sermonaro. I'm from Muskegon. Just a quick survey question. How many people clean their shop before they start a new project? Just raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Good, I don't feel weird now. I always felt weird about cleaning my shop right before I start something new. That's cool. Okay, so a couple things. A friend of mine from Ann Arbor had a Norwegian maple struck by lightning a couple of years ago. And a friend of mine, we went and cut down the tree and sectioned it up. And today we're heading to the USC game, and I made a couple of things for her out of her tree. First is a maple bowl. Shout out to somebody who showed me how to center the logo too. Thank you very much. This is a Norwegian maple bowl. It's finished with hard wax oil, and then I also made a vase for it too that matches. The bead is started with Ron Campbell's tool that it's like a diamond tool basically, and then you finish it with the Sorby bead. The detail carbide. There you go. And that's that. And then I've been fooling around a little bit with resin. I took Rebecca's class. This initially was going to be one of her aquifers, and I did not listen to her. She takes the burl and bakes it for 4 hours at 400 degrees to get all the moisture out. Well, instead of doing that, I thought I'd be really smart and listen to one of them yahoos on YouTube and go ahead and stabilize it with cactus juice and then put it in. That didn't work. So what ended up happening was, as you recall, she had a little root that came down here, and I had a root there. It was covered with bubbles. And if you take a look closely, on the burl here, it looks like there's snow on the burl. It's really just micro bubbles, like Ken told me. It looks like dust. So I won't do that other thing again, and I'll listen to the pro. So instead of, I just went ahead and made a vase out of it, turned it around, and polished this up to about, the wood's polished to about 1,500, and then this is probably 2,000 or so. Also, there's one of my little secrets. There is a product out made by Mirka, and I don't know if anybody knows about or uses Polar Shine. Have you ever heard of it? Polar Shine is something that you can use. It's just like the those wax and abrasives, only it's much finer and it comes in mud. And you can use Polar Shine on this resin, and it shines it up quite nicely. So that's that. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. I'm Colleen. I wanted to come out first because I saw some other spatulas on the table that looked much nicer. I had my nephew over last week, and he decided to make a spoon, and then I got real jealous. So I tried again. The first time I had tried it, taken me like 3 hours of trying to like carve out the spoon head. And so this time I had picked up one of those really neat rasps that look like sawtooth blades all next to each other. And oh, that takes off a lot of wood. And then used some power tools, like a little sander disker on my drill. And that made a big difference. Instead of like 3 days of like carving slowly, it was an afternoon. I got both of these done. I made kind of thicker handles, and I thought, why don't anybody do this? I like that. And then I picked it up and felt how heavy it was and was really grateful. They were not that heavy when I was a kid. So, thank you.
Dave Curley. I'm forever turning bowls that have secret inclusions inside of them. So yarn bowl. It's going to be a yarn bowl, and all the yarn bowls I do, I call them bird beak. The way I cut them out. This portion right here, that's checked out. That's going to be cut away. So that'll be where the loop is for the yarn bowl, and then. I've done a couple of these, and they seem to be pretty popular, where I just carve in a bird or burn in a bird, and then I'll add color to it. So, and then my brother-in-law said, well, you need to do the inside too, so that you can see the tail when you're looking at it. So this one will be full-blown inside and out, wood burned and then colored. So anyway, if you make a bowl and it doesn't look right, it got a crack in it, turn it into a yarn bowl. Somebody will want it. So.
Good morning, I'm Gary Humphries. I'm one of the beginners that's recruited to the board, and I just like this group of people. Tend to find creative, imaginative, artistic, and really nice people. And I'll reinforce Doug's comment about mentors, that mine has been Jeff Grill. One of his first words of wisdom, Gary, you don't just put a chunk of wood on the lathe and start turning. You should have the image, and he's a little bit obsessive compulsive, so he has a nice architectural drawing of what he's going to turn that wood into. And I've commented about in making a rim, you want to plan ahead of time for making an intentional rim rather than at the end deciding, well, what can I do with it? And all you have is the uniform thinness of the bowl. I've been going from forest to finish, that I have friends that, Gary, a neighbor just took down a big tree in their yard. And I'll go over and talk to the tree people, and yeah, they give me a segment of it. So I'm currently working on blanks that are about 6 months old, from taking it from forest or log to finish, taking the green log, processing it, rough turning it, letting it dry, and then finish drying. So these are all from a hickory log, and 3 different intentional rims. And getting, I've tried almost any type of wood that comes up, from locust to oak to maple to, this is hickory, and you get a sense, and then a lot of ash trees came down. Ash and hickory are hard woods that I've learned the other key is you have to have your tools exquisitely sharp. If you think they're sharp, but you come up on the hickory or ash, and gee, the tool is sort of bouncing off the surface. And I thought it was sharp, but you freshly sharpen it and you get that nice cut. So too much talking, but this is a great group, and I find it very relaxing and enjoyable.
Good morning, Ron Vincent. Couple walnut pieces. This is an offset turning. I volunteer at the VA on Wednesday mornings as well as Jim Rosen. I don't think he's here today, but I had a woman ask me to make her some utensils. And I said, light or dark? She said dark. So I said, how about walnut? She said, okay. So this is actually curly walnut, and that's all one piece. Spatula was pretty simple. Just turn it and then take it on the bandsaw and sand it. That's what I have.
Are you moving that, or do I need to pick these up? There we go. All three, it's a story together. So I'm Bruce and Kowski. I, like maybe many of you, are mourning Ron's, not his life, I mean his event, right, that we're not going anymore. And so this year I went to Trent Bosch's workshop, visited his studio. It was a 3-day course. I would highly recommend it. It's kind of, this is a story about what I did on my summer vacation. And there were 6 or 7 of us in the studio. There are, I think, 8 robust lathes there. He himself and his son-in-law teach the classes. And they cover everything from cutting the log to finishing out the part. He's involved with a lot of textural embellishment, and I didn't do that much of it. I did a lot more than I normally would do. So this piece here is, okay. This piece is something he does actually quite a bit of, adding this kind of like eye to the focus of the piece. And it's done by just marking it out. I followed the grain of the part, but you're just carving into the inside and just setting this area out. We also did, and this happens to be elm, which in my experience I've never turned because they're all dead around here. They are dying, but there's more of them in Colorado where his place is. He also has ash, which you can see here has a little evidence of the boar that killed all the ash trees that we have. And to accentuate this piece, I took it into the sandblaster, so it's got a little more texture to it than you normally would experience with just plain ash. And then the third one, my fourth one is a coaster. So I left that at home. It was a bowl, but it turned into a coaster. So this one was a hollow form. He likes to do hollow forms, and I want to do something that I hadn't done before, and just try to embellish the surface by adding some, interest and form to it. None of these have been finished yet. They've just been drying in the garage. This one is officially oval, right here. This one's slightly oval, but this one dried really quite well right out of the chute. So that's the other thing, is that he just goes ahead and makes his pieces, thins them out, finished thickness, does all the embellishment, puts it in a bag. These have been in plastic and paper bags since July, and they're in really great shape. This one hasn't moved at all. This one's a little oval, like I said, but they'll finish out okay, and seems to work. So normally I would rough turn and wait for 6 months or 9 months or whatever, and these did quite well. So anyway, thanks.
My name's Dan Quick, and turning for a while. And I think it was 2 months ago, someone brought up the 12 cents penless kit, where you take a Bic pen and take the refill out and make your own body for it. So then my wife's got her calendar on the refrigerator. I said, well, instead of a pen just with its clip holding it, I made magnets for it to hold the pens in. And that's just a steel 3-in-1 block with some magnet around it just for a display. I made that real quick this morning.
I'm very new to your club. First day, I stumbled on this, I don't know, month, 2 months ago. Come in here with this piece here to talk to a gentleman, this gentleman here, Ken, about what's wrong with this piece? How can I make this better? You know, I knew there were some problems with it, and Ken gave me some excellent ideas, and you're all having a meeting then, and so I
Could you
decided,
get
all
just a
right,
little closer to the mic, please?
certainly. How am I doing?
That is better, thanks.
You bet. So, like I said, this wasn't my first project. My first segmented project was a bank. That's what this is a bank that I gave to my oldest granddaughter, her 6th birthday. And it was an experiment. All right? It was made from the scrap pine wood that I used on my walls in my shop. My walls are herringbone pieces of pine that I got from your sawmills, and I ran through my planers and flattened it all out, and now it's on the walls of my shop. Well, all that scrap, what do you do with it? You either burn it or you play with it. Well, I made a bank out of some of it and gave it to my daughter. This was my second project, and like I said, I brought it in to Ken. He gave me some. This was supposed to be bigger at the time. It was supposed to be this here tall, right, with the lid on it. But it didn't work out that way. I got a piece, a ring. This is Paducah and Babinga is what this is made out of. And that was my second project. I brought it in here to be critiqued. It's what's wrong with this? How can I make it better? And like I said, Ken gave me some great, excellent pointers. And so that grew into another bank that I just gave to my other granddaughter for her birthday, which was also made out of that wood that was on my wall, scraps from that wood, right? And this is the third one that goes to my grandson. This is made out of, I cannot pronounce the name of this wood. I'll spell it to you. Lati is the bottom portion here, and the top portion is Paducah. right? I don't have an engraver, but I took it to an engraving place, and they engraved on there 38 Special and Grandpa on it. And the primer is supposed to be the cork in the bottom. And so I got my ideas and grew. I've made many jigs. Some of them I've retired because they don't. I had to design and build a jig to make the bank because you cannot make this in one piece. So this was made in two pieces, and I use a 3-inch Forstner bit to hollow out the interior, and then the exterior. Then I glued it together and put it back on the lathe and turned the outside of it. And I had to build a special jig to be able to glue those two halves together. So this is my beginning projects at segmented turning.
Hi, my name's Doug Brinks. I'm a wood turner. Been a wood turner for 11 years this month. So this piece here, I worked on as like a collaboration with a wood turner from Kalamazoo, Ted. How come I can't think of his last name? Ted Huizinga, who kind of taught me a lot about the Fibonacci rule, the golden rule, and all that. And we've been wanting to work on something together. So I got with him on this piece. This was a burl that he had. It's what I call a drumstick. Had the branch coming out of the top and the bottom and the burl in the middle, which makes it limited on what you can do. You can actually see here's where the branch came out of the top of it. And then the bottom, I think the branch was here. So we were kind of offset because we wanted a lot of this, the burl in there. The burl wood is really beautiful on this piece. And we were trying to, really follow the Fibonacci rule, but we couldn't do it with the top. It just didn't have enough root there to get it. It should have been a little bigger. But this is what we worked on. It had some serious cracks in it, which we filled with resin, copper-colored resin, and there was several voids up front here too. When we got done turning it, there's a lot of unsightly little just holes, not holes, but just voids that didn't look right. So then we filled those with resin, copper-colored resin, all the little cracks. It's kind of hard to see. It really blended in well with the cherry. So, but that was our piece. So, lacquer. Oh yeah, all my hollow forms are lacquer. Okay, online there, David. Do you have somebody?
Nobody today, Doug, so we're back to you.
Okay, I see one person wants in the room. Okay, so this rounds up our show and tell. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back, and we'll get on with our Christmas gifts.